Great Wednesday evening. Hope you had a marvelous 2/5/2020 in the Lord. Who are your informal teachers right now? What have you exposed our children and our youth to as far as Black history? Yeah, we know about the I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King. We know about the Birmingham letter, but there's so much more that our children need to know. We were going over the Woolworth sit-ins in Greensboro, North Carolina, and how those 4 North Carolina A&T college students, young men, started that sit-in where they would go after class and they would just sit at the lunch counter 8 hours at a time, sometimes longer, and they would just endure and just protest. And of course, people were throwing milkshakes and ketchup on their head, and they would put scalding coffee down their back and pepper in their eyes. And they did not flinch. None of these things moved them. Oh, and this is a song that our children, they learned it today. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree planted by the water. That's Psalms 1, the first chapter. Right? I shall not be moved. So what are we teaching them? How to have that holy composure, that old school dignity, that you don't have to respond to every critic and enemy. You got to be able to shut it. Well, the informal teachers are all around them, but we have to expose our history too, our DNA. In Proverbs 5, the teachers that we're talking about in verse 12 and 13, we don't want our young people to get to the end of their days and be like, dang, I didn't listen to these lessons, not only in the word, but also as far as my ancestry and people who have endured civil rights, the ones who have endured slavery, knowing what has happened. 60 years anniversary, February 1st, 1960, those Woolworth sit-ins. In verse 12 of Proverbs 5, how I have hated instruction and my heart despised reproof, correction. Are they just being hard-hearted? Listen, those kids were just like, when they saw what our people endured. And we snap off over the littlest thing. Are you kidding me? Because someone says something, what? And they were able to have holy boldness. In verse 13, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. We don't want them to be able to say that at the end of their days or when they get older. No, the Lord promises that he will teach them. And in Psalms 95, we don't want this to be their testimony as far as the ancestors who have gone on before us. Remember in the desert in Meribah where the folks, Israelites were complaining for 40 years. It says, when your fathers tempted me, in verse 9, proved me and saw my work. They saw what I was doing, blessing them. 40 years long was I grieved with that generation. We don't want the Lord to say that about this present generation, whatever. Millennials, baby boomers, X, Y, whatever, double Z, I don't know. And said, it is a people that do err in their heart and they have known my ways. No, we want to be well acquainted with our history, the word, what's going on around us. We want to be savvy, right? Wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Verse 11, unto whom I swear in my wrath that they should not enter into my rest. No, we want the rest of the Lord. This evening, we want the rest of the Lord every time we put our hand to the plow and not look back, but look forward and do great things for his glory. So let's teach our children the fear of the Lord, our history, the word, and that they're great people and they could do great things for the glory of God for such a time as this, for the benefit of this generation. All right. Hope you have a wonderful evening and get great rest from your great labor. Good night.